Hello everybody, I'm Melanie and I'm going to show you today how to make some little ephemera pieces. These are a few that I've already made, so there's quite a few. I bought from AliExpress from China a few years ago some really pretty tickets, some ephemera. And I was really excited to play with them, and then I started buying digital kits from Etsy, and I discovered that the tickets I'd bought were not actually okay to use, because they're a direct copy of Arty Maze's product, which is, I mean, these are the ones that I've got left that I haven't covered yet. But I contacted Arty Maze and asked her if I could use these to create my own ephemera. So what I've done is I've covered them in paper, book paper, coffee dyed paper, etc. So it's got writing on the back, like that's the back of the ticket, and I've covered the front, so that's completely covered. I just wanted a way to reuse these, so I didn't want to throw them in the bin. I like the shape of them, and I have since bought some of Arty Maze's digital kits, so I've got a few of these now that I can print off, which is good. Excuse me. So these are some of the things that I made from them. They're really cute. Can't remember where all the ephemeras come from, but the butterfly is from the Digital Collage Club, which is on Etsy. This is from a paper pad I think I bought from the works. I just fussy cut the clock. That is something I bought from AliExpress. And then I made the backgrounds using book paper, washi tape, hand stamped some book papers, and tea and coffee dyed papers, avocado dyed papers, and I added a little applique on the front. Put that there. So this one is a sticker that came from AliExpress. The little playing card, I bought a pack of King and Queen, these tiny little paper pieces from the paper chase a few years ago, and I've still got loads left because it was a big pack. Can't remember where the stamp came from, AliExpress I think. And then there's some tea dyed paper that I've hand stamped, and that's a piece of the brown paper at the back is a piece of Amazon packaging, and a little bit of cheesecloth that's been coffee dyed. Okay, excuse me. Again, I've used a bit of Amazon packaging there. Tiny piece of the flower washi tape. This is a piece of book page that I've stamped. The butterfly is a vintage butterfly that my friend's mum had made. Sorry, excuse me. She had some acetate that had this embossed relief images on it, and she's used, I'm not quite sure what she's used, but they're really shimmery, metallic pens or paints or something. Again, this is from AliExpress, this sticker, and I think this is from one of Tim Holt's ephemera packs, this merchandise label. I get things from various places, so I can't remember where they all came from, but some of them I remember. This is a piece of washi tape, piece of Amazon packaging, piece of coffee dyed paper or book paper that I've hand stamped. This ticket, I think is from a Tim Holtz thing, and I think the little label is as well, although Love Junk Journals also makes little labels that you can, digital labels you can print out, and I do have a couple of her sets, which are really nice. And this is an image that I've cut out from a book I've got various books on botany and all sorts of floral books and animal books and butterflies and things. You can get quite a lot of different ones. Yeah, it's vintage style plain labels. Love Junk Journals is where you can get these little labels. Okay. Excuse me. This one I've used, that's from an old sewing pattern, this tissue paper. There's a piece of book paper behind it. There's some tea-dyed paper that I've stamped. The little advert at the back for the bikes is from Etsy, Romantic Letters, and the digital kit's called Ephemera Vintage Newspaper. So that's what that one's from. The clock, again, I think is a Tim Holtz ephemera, but I do also have some Kaisercraft ephemera kits, not digital, the packs of little ephemera kits you can get. I've got Kaisercraft and Tim Holtz, so some of these pieces will either be from one or the other, but I couldn't tell you which collections they came from, unfortunately. This is a semi-transparent sticker that came from AliExpress. And this is just a little piece of applique that I cut up. And again, there's a little label. I think that one was from Tim Holtz, but again, it's the same sort of labels you could get from the one that I mentioned on there. Okay. This next one uses another semi-transparent sticker from AliExpress. Some coffee dyed paper that I've stamped. And there's a piece of Amazon packaging on the back. This ticket that's behind the car is from Meg's Garden Papercraft, and it's the Time Cut and Create ephemera. And one of these, I'll show you in a minute, has got the bottom half of that ticket. So I used both, I just cut it up. Okay. This is a strip of washi, and I think this one is one of the Tim Holtz washi, although I have purchased various washi tips from AliExpress too. Piece of Amazon packaging that I've hand stamped. There's a strip of avocado dyed paper at the back, and this I believe is a piece of old book paper, and you can just make out there's a little tea dyed doily, part of it at the back. A little bit of seam binding. I think this is one I bought off eBay. Someone was selling different colours. And these, again, are die cuts that are either from Tim Holtz or Kaisercraft ephemera packs. Okay, there's a piece of Amazon packaging. A piece of tea dyed paper. And this is the avocado dyed paper. It makes a lovely pink colour. The jigsaw piece is from AliExpress, and this is a die cut that's come from Kaisercraft or Tim Holtz. I think that one might be Kaisercraft. I believe this is a Tim Holtz one, but I could be wrong. This is another clock I cut from some 6x6 paper pad I got from the works. Tea dyed paper at the back. This is coffee dyed paper that I've stamped. Either that or it's book paper, it might be book paper. There's a piece of tea dyed doily at the back there. And I've just done a little bit of stitching, and I will show you how I did that. Yeah. Just adds a bit of interest. This one's avocado paper at the back. The words are from Tim Holtz washi tape. There's a roll of it with lots of different words on it. This is the other half of that, can't find it now, that ticket. That's the bottom of it, that's the top of it that I used there. And that's another one of those pieces that I got from the paper chase, like that little playing card. The butterfly is a die cut from Tim Holtz or Kaisercraft. And the other bits, that's come from AliExpress. It's just a vellum sticker. and I can't remember where this came from, probably AliExpress. Yeah, nearly done. This has come from AliExpress, this mushroom. It's a transparent, semi-transparent sticker. The back here is a piece of washi tape, and it's over book paper. Book paper is on the base on the back of here. And this is, I can't remember what that is. Book paper, I think it's notepad paper. And then these, I think that's an AliExpress one, and that's from a ephemera kit from Tim Holtz or something. And this is a bit of sari silk that I've just glued on the back. And this is, I bought a set of, I think, 12 different colours for £1 each from a seller on eBay for £5, which I thought was really good, like 12 metres of sari silk for £5, all different colours. So if you're in the UK, it's a really good deal. I shall put a link to that in the description if anybody wants to buy that. And this is the last one. Avocado paper at the back. Some paper that I've hand stamped, book paper I think. There's a little piece of washi tape there. A little bit of the sewing, the tissue paper, the pattern tissue paper from a sewing pack. I think this one I think is from Tim Holtz, and I don't know where that one is from. The flower is another vellum piece that's come from AliExpress. So yeah, so those are all the little pieces that I made, which is great fun. I love doing those. And once you've made them, you can add them to anything. You know, they look lovely if you attach them onto a page of a junk journal, or used it to decorate a pocket, anything like that. So they're really easy to make. So I've got these 3 that I need to cover, and I've pulled a few pieces that I will show you. First, actually, before I do that, I just want to show you how I did the stamping. Is that the only? Yeah, the ink stamping. Just pull out your inks and your scrap papers and your various stamps and just have fun with it. And if you lay them over each other, you can get like sharp edges. I don't know if I've got any there. Like this is where I've laid a piece over there. So it's stamped on that side, and then it's stamped over here, and it's giving you that really fun edge. So you can do that. You can lay them over each other. I've got a few different stamps. This one I've just pulled out a few. This one I bought from Etsy, and it was recommended by a lady on YouTube, the Paper Outpost. I can't remember what the Etsy store is, but again I'll list that in the description in the bottom of this video. Some creative expression stamps. These are some of the new ones that I've just bought. These are really nice. I do have a lot of stamps that came from AliExpress. I'm not showing them here, but I use all sorts of different ones. These 2 were from, these were free gifts in a magazine, a craft magazine. It's vintage collage. So these are really pretty. I don't know if there's actually glare off the lights. If there is, I apologise. And then this one is a Stampers Anonymous Tim Holtz. This is a new one I've just bought actually. I'm going to get the dies to go with it, but I've not bought them yet. So it's really easy to do. I've pulled out a few inks. I've got I've got a few distress archival inks. I prefer to use archival inks for these, but you can also use distress inks or distress oxides, whatever you prefer. And I've also got these eyes ink dies. I like the little stamp pads because I don't have a lot of storage space and I don't have a lot of money to spend on lots of big stamp pads, so these little ones are perfect. These are the only archival inks, the permanent inks from Ranger, but I do plan to buy some more in the future. So it's just a case of picking a few different colours. I quite like the green and the grey. I quite like the vintage colours. You don't just have to use black and brown, you can use different colours too, just to add a bit of interest. So I'm going to use that one and that one, I think. And then you just pull your stamps out. I obviously don't have that many papers to ink, so and then it's just a case of putting the ink on your stamp and then pressing down. There we go. And then you've got some ink on both of those pieces. Let's try something different. Right, we will use this one. I haven't used these ones yet, so this is exciting. But I know that Tim Holtz stamps are really good. You could use a stamping block, but I don't bother. Oops. There we go. It doesn't even matter if you don't get a clear impression, because you're going to be tearing these up and cutting them apart anyway, so it doesn't really matter how they turn out. You know, if they smudge a bit, or if it moves and you don't get a very good picture, you could also stamp it again somewhere else to get a second impression. And it is as easy as this. You just have fun with it, just pull out all your stamps and stamp out different images. Just move those out of the way. Yes. I've got a lot of stamps that I don't use that I should, because I'm not a card maker. I've tried and I'm just not very good at it. I love the I can't get this one off. I love the grungy style junk journals and mixed media and vintage style shabby chic. I like making boxes and journals and things that are different, you know. Right, stamp that over there. See, it's kind of gone blurry, but it doesn't matter. I don't think this is a very good stamp, but it's all fine. And it doesn't matter if you stamp it over another image either, you know. You just change it around and have fun. Okay. There we go. And that's that's how easy it is to create these different types of images. You just pull out your stamps and play. Right. Move those over there and just pop these away, because if I don't put them away I'll forget to, and then I won't find them when I need them. I'm very good at doing that. I bet I'm not the only one, huh? That doesn't put things away when I should. Right, I don't have a lot of workspace because my craft room is actually in my bedroom, so you are in my bedroom. Yeah, well, right, anyway, so we've got these pieces of paper, and I've got these scraps that I pulled out, and I want to cover these because obviously they're no good. Can't use these images. Oops, some scratch paper. I do like the idea that people use glue books, you know. They use old books to use as to glue on, and I think that's a great idea. At some point I'll do that. I don't have a lot of old books that I can tear up and use at the moment. I will get some. I just, obviously with the current situation, I mean, I have a chest condition, so I don't get out very often, which is why I'm coughing and croaky voice and stuff. So at the moment I don't want to catch the dreaded lurgy, so I'm not going out to charity shops and buying books and things. Right, so I'm going to glue, because that piece won't cover the whole thing. So I'm going to glue that down, and I want to glue that. Whoops. Yep, you need to go over there a bit, I think. Now I'm getting glue all over my mat and my fingers. I don't like getting messy. I don't know why, it's weird. I'm a crafter, but I don't like getting messy. Not over my fingers anyway. So this is, the bottle's actually Alien's tacky glue, but which is what was originally in it, and I've refilled it with Hobbycraft glue. Actually, I think maybe I want that on top. And you can change your mind and pull it apart. I might not like it, and then I can just cover it. So it's not a big issue. Oh, some nice stamping on the back too, I didn't notice that. So yeah, if I don't like how it's turned out, I can always cover it. So I want to use, supposed to be using scraps, but let's use this that we've just, this is actually a piece of Amazon packaging. That paper that they wrap everything up in when you get your deliveries. And I like to reuse it when I can. So there's those two, and I want to use a piece of this on here. Oops, sorry. Stick that on there. There we go. So yeah, this was Alien's tacky glue, and I filled it up. I got a big bottle of Hobbycraft tacky glue that I filled it up with, and it seems to be just the same. It's working fine, and it was cheaper, so I'm all for saving some money. Yeah, and then you can either rip or you can cut the edges depending on how you want them to look. I think some of I varied it. Sometimes I ripped them and sometimes I cut them. They're nice either way. I think I actually went around and cut the others. But I shall just rip these. I mean, you can leave them raggedy as well, you don't have to tidy it all up. Plus these pieces I cut them so they fit. But you could leave it like that if you wanted to, you know, you don't have to cut it. All these little scraps I keep. I know it seems strange, but that's how I put little pieces in the background and little pieces down the corner. So if you're one of these people that hoards all your tiny scraps that you don't know what to do with these little pieces, see that, these are all dark, but that would look nice, you know, you could fasten it down the, glue it down the side. Like, hang on. Let me just move these bits out of the way because I'm getting all confused, and I'll just finish this one. And then I'll show you some others that I finished that are waiting to be decorated. Right. So that's those. These are some pieces that I've already done. So these are obviously, these ones were the tickets that I bought from AliExpress that had Arty Maze's images on them. This was a piece of book paper, tea-dyed paper that had got creased and folded, and I decided that I like that. It gives a three-dimensional effect. But you could have a piece like that and you could fasten that down the side, glue that down the side, and it adds a bit more interest. Yeah, so I don't get rid of these little pieces. Same with that bit there. I don't know, you might want to fasten it, glue it down there. That'd look quite nice there, like that actually. See, like that. Which is what I did with some of the other ones. I used little scraps. You can also, here that's a piece of book paper. You can also cover little die cuts, which is what these are. These are leftovers from when I've die cut things for projects. So that's got book paper on it. That's coffee dye paper. I tried to coffee dye some paper napkins because it was like bright orange. Some tissue paper, sorry, not paper napkins. And I'd laid them over this paper. I don't know if I've got any more here. I think I've used it all. But I laid them over this paper, and some of the colour transferred onto my coffee dye paper. So I've got some A4 sheets that have got these random orange splotches on them, which look amazing. I mean, I love how it turned out, so I need to do that again sometime. But the dye had come off the tissue paper. See, there's lots of things. There's all these shapes. There's a piece of old music paper, piece of I don't know, some scrap paper that I'd written on. And that's Amazon packaging. Excuse me. These were little tags, little mason jar shaped tags. I covered in avocado dye paper. I love that. Amazon packaging, Amazon packaging. There's another piece with the bright orange tissue paper where the dye had leaked. Piece of Amazon packaging. It hadn't quite reached the edge, but I'm not worried about that because I can cover it up. Old line paper. See, all sorts of different things. So you can use anything, you know. You can die cut a tag shape, you can die cut any of these shapes, and you can create something from that. Bigger pieces, whatever you want to do, you can make. You can do anything. So from here, what I did was I inked up the edges. So say I use the distress inks. My favourite ones are, I don't have it here, but antique linen. I love antique linen. I didn't bring it down. And then I tend to use like the walnut stain or gathered twigs. I mean, I know a lot of people use vintage photo, but I'm not so keen on that. I love the walnut stain there. I also keep the ink pads velcroed to the bottom of the things so I don't lose them. So then and just ink around the edges. Makes them stand out a bit. I mean, I could have inked down that bit there before I glued it down as well, but I didn't think of it. It doesn't matter. Actually, I think this one, because not all of these have been inked up. Of course, if you've got any white edges, when you ink them, you can hide those too. They're not so noticeable, but I'm sure most of you already know that. I don't think I'm teaching you anything new. And some of these, the avocado dyed ones, I used, I can't remember which one I used, but I don't even know if this will show up on that. Probably should have done it on one of the lighter ones. But this is actually the antique linen. This very pale, creamy yellow. I really do like that one. Subtle. Actually, it looks quite nice. Okay, this is the first video that I've made with my camera, so I don't know what the colours are like and if I need to do any adjustments. So I will obviously play it back and see what it turned out like. I'm hoping it turns out alright, because otherwise it's going to be, no, it didn't work. And then once you've got these bases, just move that out of the way. The next thing to do is to start layering them, and I've got quite a lot already that I've already layered. So I take these scrap pieces, like I mentioned before, and I rip a piece off, and I might lay that over there like that and glue it down just wherever I think is going to look good. You know, it doesn't have to be straight lines. You can put them at angles. You can cover part of the writing if there's writing on it. You don't have to have it all that way, because you could do it like that, and then you could actually, when you decorate it, have the image going that way. So, you know, there's no rules. You do what you want, basically. So that's a piece of old book page, I believe. That's a piece of Amazon packaging that I've stamped. So these ones that I've been adding bits and pieces to. So this is some old music paper that's been stamped, and that's book paper on the back. I've got loads. I've got a huge stack because I had loads of those tickets. And this is where I've just layered them. So there's a tiny scrap there and a scrap down there. There's a little scrap there and then a little bit of doily, paper doily. There's a little piece of doily, piece of paper, and a little strip of washi tape there. So you can do anything with them. You know, I probably don't need to show you how to glue down little pieces of paper to the edge of it. I won't show you how to do that. But you just use your imagination, just put down what looks right. This is a piece of wax paper that's been crumpled up, so it's got that really nice texture. Glued a ticket onto that one. So these are all pieces that, see there's loads, these are all pieces that are just ready to add a bit more decoration to. So I went a bit mad. I mean, I didn't make all these in one go, and I made these last year. I didn't make them this year. I've only just got around to doing anything else with them because I haven't been very well. So, but that's a me issue. Yeah, not something you need to worry about. Right. So Let's pull a couple of these off. Yeah. And shove them all over there. And from here I've pulled out, I've got lots of bits and pieces. So I've got bigger pieces, these are bigger scraps, these are pages that I've stamped, I've got plain ones, that's a piece of old music paper, a piece of tissue paper from a sewing pattern, Amazon packaging, wax paper that I've used distress inks on, doily, avocado paper. See that there's loads. A lot of these have been stamped. I've just gone around and just randomly stamped all sorts of things on them. So as I said, you just grab your stamps and have a play. And these are all my tiny scraps that I keep. Lots of like newsprint and some lined paper, I think. Some of it's stamped, some of it isn't. It's bits of book pages. So I put my smaller scraps in this box. Oops. And the bigger scraps can go in there. There we go. And those little pieces can go in the bin. I'd rather line at tiny pieces, but put them away. I pulled together a few washi tapes. Some of the washi tapes that I used, most of these have come from AliExpress from China, but these are ticket strips. I don't know if they're still available because I mean it's been a couple of years since I've ordered anything from China. But a lot of these have come from China. Although there are a few. These were gifted to me in a swap. Yeah, these are from China. Some of these, this I think was a Tim Holtz one. There's numbers. Oh, sorry. I'm saying sorry because my hair keeps touching the camera. I don't know if that was Tim Holtz. I don't think so. I know these are AliExpress, but I like the vintage style, so I kind of picked and chose the pieces that I knew that I would use, rather than bits and pieces that I just bought for the sake of it. I try to be careful with my money, you know. I can't remember. I think it was just black and white stuff that was Tim Holtz. But there was a set with words and letters and numbers and things that were all black and white. Excuse me. So yeah, some of the little pieces of washi tape. And what I did was I tore the washi tape up. So I tore off a little strip and then I tore it into bits. And I've just got this acrylic. I don't actually even know what this is. These are actually gifted to me on the washi tape, and this had some washi tape wrapped around it as well, I believe. There's some ribbon, so I don't know where they came from. I can't help you with that, unfortunately. But I stuck the scrap pieces of washi tape that I didn't use on here, so then I can use them on other bits and pieces. So I don't waste anything. I don't like wasting things. If I can find a use for it, I'll try and use it rather than throw it in the bin. Yeah. And then what I've also pulled, these boxes actually, I don't know if you've ever seen them, but the little boxes and things, these, I used to get the monthly craft box, craft subscription, and you got this box full of all sorts of bits and pieces for £35. It was either little papers and ephemera, and so some of my bits and pieces probably came from Craftbox. But these are actually Birchbox, which is a monthly makeup and beauty products subscription. When you know, it's saying subscription, the monthly boxes, but you don't have to keep with them for a long time. You can cancel any time. But that's what these have come from. You get like 5 beauty products or something in them, and obviously when I get them I use them for other things. Some of them are boxes with lids and some of them are these drawers. So anyway, I've put a few bits of ephemera together. These are Tim Holtz. These are from the washi tape as well that I've just stuck onto paper, and then I've cut them out so there's lots of different words. These were from oh, I can't remember now. I did have them as well, and I can't remember what it's called. Again, I'll have to write it in the description box because I can't remember. I'm really sorry. Some of them I've actually wrote on the back to try and remember where they are. Like this one's my porch prints. This is from a digital kit. And then I've got bits of rulers and things that are these have come from AliExpress. A lot of their stuff, I mean, I hope that they're not plagiarised from somebody else. I really hope that, you know, whoever's made them has used their own and not just stolen somebody else's images. But if anybody does recognise them belonging to somebody else, then by all means let me know, because then I will buy the legitimate products, you know. Yeah. These are from Meg's Garden Papercraft. So these are from the same kit that that little advertising square was in, with a little bicycle advert. That's from the same digital kit. And then I've pulled together a few little pieces of various ephemera. Those tiny mushrooms, aren't they cute? just a few little things that I can use to decorate the tags. If you're one of these people that collects ephemera, you've probably got lots of bits and pieces. But if you don't, just use what you have. You don't have to go out and buy ephemera. You can just, if you want, you know, leave it like that. You don't have to do anything special with it, and you can just stick a word across the top or something. Like, I don't know, like this is some book paper and a piece of graph paper, or lined paper that I've stamped. And you could just stick a word there with, move that out of there. In here I've got, I just pulled up a few bits of threads, some, excuse me, some cheesecloth that I dyed with the Distress inks. Yeah, that one's been dyed as well. This is the same sort of sari silk that I bought off eBay. Some vintage lace. Just seam binding, lots of little pieces. This is stuff that I bought from AliExpress from China. But there's all sorts of bits and pieces. That's some, sorry, some sari silk that I tea dyed. So you can just, for example, a little bit of cheesecloth at the back, or if you want to add a little bit of colour, actually, I don't know, you could use a strip. No, that doesn't really work. When it comes to me doing this, I can spend ages trying to find the right thing to go with it. Let's see. That's cute, actually, isn't it? That would look interesting. And we could do a little bit of stitching. So it's just a case of pulling together what you have and just having fun with it. I also have glitter glue. I do tend to use papercraft, but it's ideal for doing little things, you know, because obviously you get a fine point. I don't know if anybody's tried this, but I glued a magnet onto here with some glossy accents, so then I don't lose my pin when I remember to stick it on there, and as long as I don't stab myself with it, because I've done that a few times. Yeah, it keeps the pin there so I know where it is. And I don't know whether this pin's going to rust. This is a new one that I've just put in. It's a stick pin, a hat pin or something. Oops. I should be doing this on a piece of paper because I don't really want to get my cutting mat all gluey. Right. But this glue is pretty good for gluing down appliques. So stick that there like that. This is, I think this is a vintage piece. I don't actually know where it came from. Oops. The glue bottle fell down. Yeah, should use my tweezers for these little things. Put a bit more on. I do have fabric tack too that I can use if this won't stick, but it normally sticks. Oh, I stabbed myself with a pin. Always doing that. Because trying to get these things back in again's fun. And it is, this one is very tight, but it means it stays airtight. This one's nearly empty, but I've got a new one ready to go. I also forgot to mention with the washi tape, sometimes when you peel off the washi tape, it's not very sticky on the back. I tend to use Pritt stick when I'm gluing down washi tape. I don't really use this for paper because I find it doesn't hold very well, but with the washi tape, it sticks it down really well. It also works really well for tissue paper and things that are really thin. Right, what I want to do is do some stitching like I did on this one, this green stitching here. So I'll show you how I did it. I cheated. I don't know if anybody's ever seen this, but this is a tool designed for people working with leather. I do actually have a lot of leather that I haven't done anything with, a lot of scraps of leather that I want to stitch together to create a journal cover, which I haven't got around to doing yet. And that's the main reason why I bought this, because then you can get, you know, the stitching holes right. But this is also perfect for if you want to hand stitch something like this. I've got this foam mat that it came from my friend's mum, and I've no idea where she got it from, but it's like dense foam, it's like memory foam, it's really thick, and it's designed for using a light box, well, I don't know if it's a light box, but paper piercing vellum, you know, when you're creating intricate designs. Like, I think this is something that she's done in the past, because I haven't done this, all those little stitches. She's put a piece of vellum on that's got an outline on it, and she's I don't know if she's done it, but I don't do anything like that, but I just use it as a base to put the holes in. Excuse me. When I use an awl or a pokey tool, I have a few different ones. There's this thin one. I think that's a pokey tool. That's a beading awl, I believe. Could be wrong. But this is great because it stops your surfaces from getting holes in them. You don't get little holes on your craft mat. But there are other options. There are a couple of other things you could use. I should just pull them up. You can obviously use a little cutting mat. Something else that you can use is if you ever tried making kumihimo, which is just like braided yarn, braided string, because you keep folding it over and it goes through the hole in the bottom. Braided cord, that's it. I don't use this very often. I did it once. I mean, I obviously bought them at one point. They're very old. And I make them occasionally. They're fun to do, especially if you add beads to them, but it's not something I use very often. But this also is the same kind of foam, so if you've got these bead mats that you don't do anything with, you can use them for your, paper piercing. Right, so I shall move those out of the way. Oh yeah, there was another thing I wanted to show you as well. I bought this. I very rarely use it, but it's from Sticks 2. And it's designed for when you are matting a card. You're supposed to be able to layer it. So, when you are you're putting a small piece of card on top of a slightly larger one on top of a slightly larger one when you're card making. This is designed so you get it perfectly lined up. You know, every layer is in the middle. And I've hardly ever used it because I'm not a card maker and I don't really have a lot of use for it, and I'm not that precise anyway. I'm not worried about things that line up. I bought it for the square ruler bit, but it's not very big. You know, it's only like 8 inches. Yeah, 9 inches. So I ended up buying this big 12 by 18 inch L square metal ruler for when I need to cut things at a precise angle, so I don't use this much. But it does have the holes down the side, so if you have one of these and you don't use it much, you could use it for piercing holes to do hand sewing. But I prefer this one because these holes, if you can see them, these holes are a lot closer together. So that's an option. Right, now we can get on to this. And it's had a chance to dry. Where am I going to do the stitching? This is the fun thing, I don't know where I'm going to stitch. Yeah, because I don't want it to look like mismatched. I guess if I go along there, that'll probably work. Okay, I might even stitch over the flower. Yeah, because I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, you do it for what looks good for you. So if you like the look of it, then that's fine. Right, so then you just poke the tool through the card and make the holes. Yeah, I'll just do it to there. There. That's that bit done. That was fun. I like doing that. I don't know why. I'm just weird like that. Move those out of the way. And I've got some black thread. This, I don't know, I think it came from a charity shop. My son picked up a bag of different coloured yarn from me. A lot of things just came from things from eBay or charity shops. So I don't know, I can't remember. I've got this little needle book that my friend gave me. That's a picture of her when she was a kid. She made this in school, and when she was clearing out her mum's house after mum passed away, she found it and she was going to throw it away. So I asked her if I could keep it because she wasn't interested in keeping it, but it's, as I said, it's something that she made in school, and I'm really glad that I asked her because she passed away last year. So I've got something that she made in school that's a memory of her, you know, something that I will always cherish. And all these needles are ones that her mum's collected over the years, so I've got loads of different types of needles. You know, I'm never going to run out, am I? And I put a picture in there. So, I don't know, I might make a journal or something for me, or a needle book, and put this in it, sew it into a needle book, or a sewing book or something. But, right, anyway. I need to thread the needle. I don't know if this eye is going to be big enough for this. If anybody has problems with threading needles, this is something that I learned a few years ago now. But rather than trying to get the thread through the needle, you put the needle through the thread. So basically, you pull the thread so it's just showing like that. And then you put the needle over the top. And yeah, the hole's not big enough. Sorry, give me a second. Let me just find one that's got a bigger hole. I knew that wouldn't work. That one, maybe? Maybe that the same. And that's the same. See, all these needles. That's got a nice big hole. This one should work. So let me pull it up a bit closer. Then see, the thread just goes through and then you can pull it through. There you go. As easy as that. I'm sure some of you already know that trick, but I find it very handy. I used to always fight trying to get needles to go through, for the thread to go through needle holes, but I don't anymore. Okay, right, so oops, okay, that one's gone right through. I've been lazy and I'm not actually cutting the thread first. I probably should, but doesn't matter, does it? Then where's my hole? There. So we're just stitching back and forth, which is really easy. And I think I'm going to go back through this one so I have a continuous line. I'm going to join up those. But you can stitch it any way you want to. You can do 2 rows and do a cross stitch, or you can freehand. You don't have to punch holes and have a straight line. You can just freehand stitch, you know, however you want to do it. There. So I'll just do a couple of overhand knots. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah. I've got a little caddy at the side of me with everything that I use. Let me just cut this. Move that out of the way. I try and keep different scissors for different things as well. I'm sure you all do that, or try to. So those are my thread and fabric scissors. So I don't use those to cut paper. That's the plan anyway. And just do a couple of overhand stitches to secure it. You could also add a bit of glue if you wanted to. I'll leave the tails there because I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. But you see, there was no ephemera used there. There was no purchased products. This was a vintage piece. Don't actually know where I got it from. I think I've only got a really small strip of it. Obviously this was from Tim Holtz, but you can print a word. You know, you don't have to buy something to do it. You can print a word, or you can stamp something onto a piece of paper, same as you do these hand stamps. And this is from an old book. So this, you know, you could make this virtually out of nothing. You know, it doesn't cost a lot of money. So you don't have to have a washi tape, or washi stickers, and, you know, ephemera pieces from ephemera kits from Tim Holtz or Kaisercraft or whatever, you know. And, you know, these ephemera pieces. Again, you can also stick sari silk and things, cheesecloth on the back, or you can wait until you stick it down onto a project and then you can put some fabric or something behind it for a bit of extra interest. But yeah, that's how easy it is to make these little tickets, these little collage, ephemera pieces, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, that's how easy it is. So I hope you enjoy this and have fun creating. Bye!